June 3rd, 2023 is the day that changed a 17-year-old girl's life forever.
And this boy has just stabbed a girl.
This selfish human being and his selfish acts will be their holiday forever. They do not get to forget the day they went for food and left in a helicopter.
Madison Schmitz dealing with lifelong injuries from that attack that put her in a wheelchair.
You're evil, and that's that. You handed Madison a life sentence on June 3rd, 2023, and it only seems fitting that you get the same.
And a man who jumped in to save her life left with permanent injuries of his own.
A man who could not handle a breakup decided to take the time to stalk, stab, and try to kill a young woman.
Now a community is on its way to healing and getting justice.
Here's a look at some of the cases that have been solved with the help of Crime Stoppers. In 2024, Ronald Matthews was shot and killed while working security at the Dragon Arcade on Edgewood Avenue. A tip led police to Karan Goodman. He was arrested and charged with murder. 16-year-old Derek Pitts was killed on December 29th back in 2023, shot in a parking lot of an apartment complex on Old St. Augustine Road. Just 2 months after his death, police arrested Colton Moore. Moore pled guilty and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. And this one was a really big case in Jacksonville that was solved with the help of Crime Stoppers. 7-year-old Breon Allen was killed in a drive-by shooting in 2025. Breon's cousin was also shot, but police say he was the actual target due to an ongoing gang war. 6 people were arrested. 2 have pled guilty and agreed to testify against the other suspects. At least 87 homes are gone in Brantley County from the massive 5,000-acre fire. This is video of some of that damage. This is what's left of a wedding chapel in Waynesville. You can see burned cars and debris left behind. And take a look at this video. Thick smoke, tall flames peeking over a tree line. This is right next to Highway 82 in Atkinson. And a look now at the command center where multiple agencies are standing by to help fight the wildfire. I'm Tanika Hughes.
And I'm Ben Becker. Now, new evacuations were ordered just over 1 hour ago when the fire took a new turn and put more homes in danger. Now, Action News Jax has a team of reporters and, of course, the chief, Mike Bursch, covering every angle of this story in Brantley County. We begin with Madison Foglio in Atkinson. And Madison, you're getting our first up-close look at some homes that were destroyed in the fire.
Yeah, 259 between 82 just opened up, so we decided to turn down this road and just take a look at some of the damage behind me here. They say 87 homes have been lost. This, we know, is one of them. You can see that trailer off in the distance completely turned to rubble. There is nothing inside of it now. What used to be a life and a place, a home where people used to live, now completely destroyed. You could just feel in the air as well just how thick it is. And something I want to show you here, if I'm going to pick this up. Take a look at my hand. All ash. This used to be all grass here. Now it is completely ash here. Every step I take, it's crunching. Everything, every breath I take in, it's hard to breathe out here. And we're going to continue to look at the damage all throughout the evening here on Action News Jax. So stay with us throughout the evening as we continue to bring you the latest updates. For local coverage you can count on, I'm Madison Foglio, Action News Jax.
All right, now First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Bursch, he picks up our live team coverage in Brantley County. And Mike, county leaders say they're making progress. They were, but now the wind has picked up.
Yeah, the wind's picked up, and this fire looks vicious, you guys, both on radar and by looking at it. I'll show you here in a second. It's essentially in Atkinson, a little bit north of Highway 82, an area that was completely overwhelmed by fire. Firefighters were literally overwhelmed about 48 hours ago, 2 days ago on Tuesday, and pretty much everybody in this neighborhood evacuated. A few have come back today. I just talked to one about 15 minutes ago. But to give you a perspective, you can see all the black and scorched earth here, literally. There's areas of smoke. Every once in a while, we might see a little fire. We hear planes coming in. Here comes one now. This will be a water drop that's incoming on the fire right now. Some power lines here, too, to deal with, but you're going to get the idea. And they're going right in now to drop water. Looks like he's got a full belly. And he'll go in on, there is the fire, you guys. It encompasses basically the whole camera. I'll bet you, I can't see it myself, but it is massive fire now. And on 5th Street First Alert Doppler HD, we can see the smoke plume. We can also see it from Fernandina Beach, our First Alert Skycam network. But it has really intensified the last few hours. It is moving in a northerly direction because of the winds, which are out of the south-southeast. At my location, only blowing about 5 to 10 miles per hour, occasionally maybe 15 miles per hour. But near that fire, it's creating its own wind and weather, and the wind gusts can easily be 30 to 40 miles per hour, and that's awful for firefighters. It's dangerous, and it means it's also spreading fast. At this particular location, as I mentioned, the fire came through 48 hours ago. A few of these homes miraculously survived. The homes did, and the homeowners have returned. Some were not so lucky. I'm going to show you those homes. It's devastating in about 15 minutes. And your full first alert forecast. We'll take a look at rainfall opportunities as we head through the weekend and early next week. In the meantime, live from Brantley County, Georgia, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
And he talks about people who've lost their homes, and they're wondering what to do now. As we've been telling you, 87 homes are already gone. More are in danger right now. Action News Jax Casey Stone is live in Nahunta. Casey, county officials just announced that FEMA assistance has not stepped in just yet.
That's correct. And if you actually take a look behind me, you can see just how intense the smoke is. County officials said that in the last hour, the fire has really intensified. And because of the state of emergency declared yesterday, GEMA is now on scene in addition to Red Cross and the Salvation Army.
I don't think it's transparency. I think it's chaos.
As of this afternoon, county officials estimate that there's been about 150 people displaced after being forced to leave their homes in evacuation zones. Many of those people say that information about recovery has primarily come from word of mouth in the community.
We just keep gathering scraps and putting them together.
But the people of Brantley County say they need answers about what comes next.
A lot of people don't have insurance. We didn't. And most of our neighbors don't.
We heard from county officials in the past hour and asked them what people can do if they've lost their homes. Chuck White with Emergency Management says that they're working on setting up a functioning recovery unit.
Those that have been impacted, victims, and start to look at how they can help them socially, psychologically, and economically.
He said that there will be a huge team meeting in the morning to work out those details. But in the meantime, the community is stepping up.
It makes my heart smile that I'm in a position to be able to help them.
We drove past Shelby and Shane's food truck after seeing a woman holding up a free food sign. Shelby Drummond said that they've been out here feeding people for free for the past 2 days, and they plan to be here tomorrow, too. She says they fed about 200 people since yesterday, but she says that the work is far from over.
They need toothpaste, toiletries. They need, stuff that we need every day, immediately.
We'll share more about long-term recovery efforts as they become available both online and on air. For local coverage you can count on in Brantley County, Casey Stone, Action News Jax.
Dozens of homes in Brantley County, Georgia are gone. Families are in need. But help continues to grow. Little Memorial Baptist Church stepping up to help those impacted. The community also coming together to raise donations and support neighbors. Disaster responders say donations are not only limited to food and water.
Simple things we don't think about if you had to rush out of your house: toothbrush, toothpaste, towel, soap, shampoo, all of those things.
As those fires spread, those hosting donation banks are afraid they may be forced to evacuate, but in the meantime, they are stepping up any way that they can.
And a beloved wedding venue in Waynesville is now in the path of a fire and all the smoke and the uncertainty that comes along with it. As evacuation is spread across Brantley County, Action News Jax Kaviena shows us how the business owner is holding on to hope.
This venue hosts around 25 weddings a year, plus other banquets and events. Celebrations now on pause as the wildfire and smoke grows closer. At the Hunter Barn in Waynesville, weddings and banquets are the focus. But tonight, a place built for I-dos.
My husband built it from the ground up with his own hands.
Is now waiting on what if.
This weekend, we're supposed to have my stepson's prom. We've got a cross-country banquet for our local high school next Tuesday. We've got a wedding next weekend.
As Brooklyn Hunter rocks on her porch, a helicopter swooped in, pulling water from her pond. Within a minute, it took off. That's how quickly it flew away to douse water on flames smoldering just beyond that tree line. The fires hit close to home.
And my stepson and his sister and his sister's fiance and their mom, they all lost their home yesterday, and that's less than 6 miles from us.
Even as smoke threatens what her family built.
I know we're strong. I know we'll come back. I know we can rebuild.
This community takes care of what matters most.
But it's just the people that have lost everything that hurts the most.
A major community event is planned for this Saturday to help families and local businesses affected by those wildfires. We'll have the link of when and where that will be on actionnewsjax.com. For local coverage you can count on in Brantley County, Yona Kaviena, Action News Jax.
And in Clay and Putnam counties, the railroad fire remains at 4,400 acres and is 60% contained. Firefighters are working to improve brake lines that will prevent it from spreading. Now, the Clay County Sheriff's Office says they want you to continue to stay away from the area of the fire, which is mapped out here on your screen. It's near US 17. There are no roads closed in Clay right now, and there are no new voluntary evacuations, but it's still not safe to return to Varney Road and Woodard Lane.
We are hearing from local doctors on the wildfires throughout Florida that could have an impact on people who are not directly threatened by the flames. We do know that smoke from a wildfire can travel dozens, even hundreds of miles, depending on the wind and other weather conditions. Action News Jax Chandler Morgan spoke with Dr. Scott Ackerman from the Ackerman Cancer Center about the concerns.
Dr. Scott Ackerman says from a medical perspective, we certainly don't want to alarm anyone, but it's important to consider how the air quality can impact you both short and long term. The wildfire smoke can certainly be an irritation to your lungs because look at that, how thick it is and what's inside of that air and that smoke. But I asked him about potential long-term links between inhaling wildfire smoke and cancer.
But these little particulates are so small that once they get into the lungs, they get absorbed into the bloodstream and go throughout the body. And it's been shown in epidemiological studies that that can increase your risk of other cancers like colorectal cancer, bladder cancer, breast cancer, and even some Canadian studies showed people exposed to long-term smoke exposure have increased risk of certain brain tumors. So it's not just the lung cancers.
Dr. Ackerman says in the short term, you'll want to keep an eye on the air quality, something which our First Alert weather team is closely tracking for you during these wildfires. In the studio, I'm Chandler Morgan.
The Duval County School District says it is monitoring air quality, working with city officials to see if students' outdoor activities will be limited or taken inside. School leaders will work directly with students and staff who have medically sensitive conditions.
All of Northeast Florida is under a strict burn ban, and the city of Jacksonville now has a way you can report a violation. Both people and businesses can be cited for violations by the city. You can call 904-630-CITY to report unauthorized burning during business hours Monday through Friday. Also, visit actionnewsjax.com for more resources.
For live updates on the local wildfires, head to actionnewsjax.com, the Action News Jax app, and the Action News Jax Now live stream. You'll find information on road closures, shelters, burn bans, and how to protect your home ahead of a fire.
There's no doubt in my mind that this is the time to make a change in the best interests of the football team, community, and especially our fans.
And that's Jags owner Shad Khan speaking to the media for the first time since firing head coach Doug Peterson. Shad Khan put out that announcement around 8:30 this morning. We brought it to you as breaking news during our morning show. I'm Tanika Hughes.
And I'm Ben Becker. Now the search begins for another head coach yet again. Action Jax's team coverage on Peterson's firing, including reaction from players. But we begin with Action Sports Jax Brett Martineau, who's live from Strings Sports Brewery. And Brett, this is a good opportunity for the next head coach.
Well, we have a show tonight at 7 o'clock, a Jags Report Live here at Strings. And I walked in and I said, how's everybody doing? And I got a scowling look. I think that's how Jacksonville is reacting to this news today. Doug Peterson fired, Trent Baalke retained as a general manager, which irks the fan base at the very least. As for Doug Peterson, no surprise. 3 years here. Good first year, going to the playoffs. It was magical, 9-8 in kind of comeback fashion, and then 9-8 last year in disappointing fashion in an epic collapse. And then this year obviously wasn't good enough. 4-13 with those great expectations. They did not deliver. 3-10 in one-score games. And so Doug Peterson is out of a job. And now the Jaguars will hire another coach, the sixth one in the tenure of Shad Khan as owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he thinks it's a job people will covet.
You know, we have a very compelling case of what we can offer the head coach. Players, where we stand, on our draft, our salary cap, the city, the bricks and mortars, the facilities, our division. It's a very, very compelling case, but I want the head coach, which we did last time. I mean, they need to be comfortable with what we're doing.
Schott has tried a bunch of different things when hiring a coach like Doug Peterson, Lombardi Trophy second time around. He tried Urban Meyer. He's never tried the offensive young play caller, that hot shot play caller. Could it be this time for the Jacksonville Jaguars? The hottest name in this coaching cycle is Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, who just got the top seed in the NFC yesterday. So Ben Johnson will be a name that you will hear a lot about. They could interview him as early as this week virtually, if they get permission from the league and from the Lions. Live at String Sports Brewery here in Jax Beach, I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax.
And the players learn the fate of their head coach while cleaning out their lockers for the postseason. We pick up team coverage with Action Sports Jax Stuart Weber with more on the players' reaction.
The NFL is full of all sorts of different types of coaches, from the players' coach, guys like Doug Peterson, who was fired here on Monday, versus some of those more disciplinarian coaches, something we've also seen here in Jacksonville in the past. As for what the next head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars will be, that is still up in the air. But for the players, it's all about finding that guy who's going to bring out the most in them and lead this team to success this fall.
Just a coach to come in and that gives it his all. His main goal is to win the Super Bowl, and he wants to bring the best out of the players that he have on this team. I know we're a young team, so I would definitely love to have someone, kind of relatable to us, in a sense. Somebody with some passion. I love playing with somebody with some passion, and somebody just feels strong about what we got going on here.
We just need our own standard, we just need our own identity, who we are, and build that and hold each other accountable for good, bad, and move on from it and just flush stuff.
How quickly the team finds its new head coach, that is certainly up in the air. Remember, when the Jaguars hired Doug Peterson, it was over a month and a half from when they interviewed him to when they hired him to lead the Jaguars here in Jacksonville. For Action Sports Jax, I'm Stuart Weber.
So, Jags fans we spoke with say they feel Peterson's firing brings renewed hope for the future of the franchise, but the decision of owner Shad Khan to keep general manager Trent Baalke is a problem.
I think a new coach, if he can come in and shift the culture a little bit, I think he could probably turn it around, but it is tough, with the head guy staying the same to get that culture changed, so we'll see.
Now, in a statement released this morning, owner Shad Khan said he now strongly believes it is possible to restore the winning environment we had here not long ago. So here you go. Since 1995, the Jags have had 7 coaches. Tom Coughlin served from 1995 to 2002. He did really well during his time, 68-60, 4 playoff wins. We know about that, 2 trips to the AFC Championship game. Jack Del Rio coached the next 8 years with a losing record overall. It didn't go so well. In 2012, Mike Mularkey was hired. He went 2-14, had the worst record in the franchise at that time. Gus Bradley then came in from 2013 to 16. He was fired with a 14-48 record. Doug Marrone then showed up as head coach until 2020. During his time with the Jags, they made the playoffs for the first time since 2007. Even made it to the AFC Championship game. Miles Jack wasn't down. In 2020, the Jags went 1-15, as you may recall, and selected with the #1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. Urban Meyer was hired in 2021. We know how that worked out. He only coached 13 games before getting fired. And in 2022, the Jags hired Doug Peterson. Peterson ended his time with the Jags with a 22-29 record. He did lead them to 1 AFC South championship.
4 other football teams are currently searching for new leadership. The Bears, Saints, Patriots, and the Jets fired their head coaches ahead of Black Monday. Action News Jax has more coverage on the firing of Doug Peterson. Hear more from fans, as well as watch that press conference with owner Shad Khan and general manager Trent Baalke. It's all on actionnewsjax.com. And Brent and Dan Hicken are going to have more of that leadership change tonight on Jags Report Live. You can catch that show at String Sports Brewery in Jacksonville Beach, or watch it with us on Fox 30 at 7.
Tonight, a local man arrested 5 different times in the past 2 years, all connected to illegal street racing. Now, these are all of his mugshots of Julio Rodriguez. Now, JSO says it's cracking down with more patrols after an increase in complaints. As Action News Jax Robert Grant reports, some say that won't solve the problem.
but it's increased recently, and it's usually like the wee hours of the morning, like 1, 2, 3 in the morning.
Christina Maduro has lived in Riverside her whole life. The same neighborhood the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office just broke up a car meetup with dozens of cars about a week ago. According to this report, doing burnouts.
I mean, I hear it, so I guess it interrupts my sleep.
This man, Julio Rodriguez, was arrested 5 times in the past 2 years in connection to illegal street racing. Police say he runs this social media account, which promoted last week's birthday takeover.
We need a solution to the problem because it's been going on for a few years now.
Skid marks left behind at this parking lot here in Riverside where JSO says that takeover event happened. Officers saw about 50 cars. The suspect was leaving this event.
So they did take away a lot of the areas where they were able to do that. And the kids and everybody really doesn't have a whole lot to do anymore.
Action News Jax told you there hasn't been a place for drivers to go since Pecan Park's racing venue closed in the early 2000s. So rather than trek to Gainesville or Georgia, drivers take to Jacksonville streets. JSO says it's seen increased traffic complaints citywide and is bringing additional manpower to both its DUI and motor unit, bringing both to about 30 members each. A new law that went into effect statewide means drivers could face hefty fines, losing their driver's license, and possible jail time for illegal street racing. With local coverage you can count on in Riverside, I'm Robert Grant, Action News Jax.
New at 6, the father of a high school student who died in 2023 is suing Duval County Public Schools. Kayleen Brown had an allergic reaction after she was served baklava with nuts in it. It happened at an event at Atlantic Coast High School. The lawsuit claims the school knew about her allergy, and she was told no when she asked if there were nuts in the food. The 17-year-old left the school and died 3 days later. The lawsuit alleges the school was negligent by serving the food and allowing Kayleen to leave. We reached out to DCPS for a statement. We have not heard back.
Covering Clay County, where Sheriff Michelle Cook is warning people about a sextortion scam. Teens are getting a message that claims the scammer has access to the victim's private content and will release it if they don't pay up. Cook says the scam is mostly targeting teenagers, and make sure you talk to your children about it. Well, what should you do if you're a victim of sextortion in a sextortion scam? The FBI Jacksonville says to contact law enforcement and the FBI. Don't delete the message before police are able to review it, and tell police everything about the encounter, even if it's embarrassing.
A final report has been released nearly 1 year since the Rise Doro caught fire and burned in downtown Jacksonville. We went through dozens of pages of documents, and the bottom line, there was no conclusive evidence to indicate a specific cause. Action News Jax showed you as that fire burned for days last January. The building was partially demolished after. Here's what we learned in the newly released report. The fire likely started in the floor void on the 7th floor. The void there is the space between the ceiling and the floor above. The project manager said the building had been experiencing electrical issues at the control panel. Investigators say irregular electrical activity is the most probable cause of the fire. Crews tried to use the fire sprinklers, but a valve was turned off and the system wouldn't work. Crews also could not access the building from one side because a stairwell wasn't finished. The estimated loss from that fire was $60 million. Reconstruction is scheduled to begin in February.
St. Augustine leaders want to boost tourism in the nation's oldest city year-round, but many neighbors are not ready to welcome more crowds and traffic. Action News Jax Logan McDonald explains the city's plans and the reaction from locals.
With Nights of Lights and a rich history, St. Augustine has become an epicenter of tourism here in the state of Florida. But now county officials saying they're looking to make it a year-round draw for tourists alike. Billions of dollars generated each year in St. Johns County from tourism alone, with St. Augustine being a driving force behind that.
These dollars go back into creating a really nice quality of life for our St. Johns County residents as well as our visitors, and again, it's paid for by the visitors.
However, in 2024, Susan Phillips, the CEO of St. Johns County's Visitor and Convention Bureau, says the number of tourists coming to town dropped slightly from years prior. Now, county leaders want to draw international travelers during the times of year when events like Nights of Lights aren't already packing out the streets of downtown St. Augustine, and even during midweek hours when business slows down.
We have Jacksonville, which is less than an hour away, and Port Canaveral, which is 2 hours away. So for the first time, we're going to be targeting those folks who are coming here and might want to visit St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra for a day or two before their cruise or after their cruise.
Phillips says the hope is to not simply draw in more travelers, but also wealthier, higher quality travelers to boost tourism while mitigating traffic and other impacts. But St. Augustine locals I spoke with are not supportive of the city's tourism plans.
It's geared now toward tourists. There's no, forget the history, forget what made St. Augustine special, because it's not anymore, and that breaks my heart.
I remember what it was like before we became this constant barrage of festivities every weekend, and it would be really nice to calm that down.
Ultimately, Phillips says the hope is that they can reach a way to boost tourism year-round here in St. Augustine that's beneficial for locals and tourists alike. For local coverage you can count on, reporting from St. Augustine, I'm Logan McDonald, Action News Jax.